Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're going to explore a coin that almost every American has held at some point in their life. A coin so common that most people would walk right past it without a second glance. Yet, hidden within its coppery shine lies a story of history, art, production, mystery, and unimaginable value. I am talking about the United States of America 1-cent coin from the year 2007. Yes, a penny. Just a simple penny. But don't be fooled by its humble size, because by the end of this story, you'll discover how one of these seemingly ordinary coins has managed to shock the world of collectors with a value soaring up to $21 million. Imagine walking down the street, hearing the faint clink of a coin hitting the ground, and seeing a 2007 penny resting there. Most people would barely consider it worth bending down to pick up. But what if I told you that very coin could be a treasure, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, something that could change the course of your financial future? That's what makes this tale so captivating. So settle in as we trace the journey of the 2007 Lincoln cent, from its roots in American history to the breathtaking value that has stunned the coin collecting community. To understand why the 2007 penny is so significant, we must first go back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. The story of this coin begins not in 2007, but in 1909. That year marked the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the United States Mint decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the 1-cent coin. It was the first time a real historical figure, rather than an allegorical symbol, appeared on American circulating currency. Victor David Brenner, the designer, gave us the now iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln that continues to grace the obverse side of the penny even today. Over the years, the reverse design changed, from wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, and later to a shield, but Lincoln's face remained. His image, a symbol of freedom, equality, and unity, made the penny more than just money. It became a piece of American identity. Fast forward to 2007, nearly a century after the introduction of the Lincoln cent. By this time, the penny had seen countless changes in composition and production. Once made of almost pure copper, the penny had transformed over the years into a copper-coated zinc coin. This change was made in 1982, when rising copper prices made it too expensive to continue minting pennies with mostly copper. The 2007 penny, therefore, was struck primarily from zinc with a thin copper plating, giving it that familiar reddish-brown luster. Millions upon millions of these coins rolled off the presses at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. To the untrained eye, there was nothing unusual about them. They were simply pennies, tokens of small change, jingling around in pockets and purses. But here's where things get fascinating. While the average 2007 penny is worth only 1 cent, certain rare variations, errors, and unique qualities have elevated a handful of them into the realm of legend. Some coins are struck off-center, others might have doubling in their design, and a few may contain unique flaws or quirks that set them apart. And in the world of coin collecting, uniqueness equals value. Collectors hunt for these rare gems because they represent mistakes that slip past the strict quality control of the U.S. Mint, making them rare survivors in a sea of billions of identical coins. The design of the 2007 penny itself is simple yet elegant. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile faces right, his gaze calm and determined. Above him, the word, Liberty, stands tall, a reminder of the ideals he fought to preserve. To the right, the year 2007 is boldly stamped, signifying not just a point in time but also the continuation of a legacy. The reverse, at this point in history, still bore the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. If you look closely at the reverse, you'll notice that within the tiny depiction of the memorial is a miniature statue of Lincoln himself, visible with the aid of a magnifying glass. This detail often amazes new collectors who realize just how much artistry and precision go into designing something as small as a penny. Now, let's talk about the mintage. In 2007, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint together struck billions of pennies. The exact numbers stretch into astronomical territory, making it easy to believe that all 2007 pennies are alike and therefore worthless beyond their face value. Yet, as is often the case in life, rarity is not about quantity but about uniqueness. Amid these billions, some coins stand out for reasons that even the mint did not anticipate. What sets the truly valuable 2007 pennies apart? Some of the most coveted examples are error coins, those struck improperly due to mistakes during production. Imagine a penny that is double struck, where Lincoln's face appears slightly duplicated, or one that is struck off-center, with part of the design missing. These flaws, while technically mistakes, are treasured by collectors precisely because they are so uncommon. Another fascinating aspect is the condition of the coin. Collectors pay extraordinary sums for coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. A 2007 penny that has never been used in circulation, that still shines as brightly as the day it left the mint, could fetch much more than 1 cent. But beyond the world of error coins and uncirculated examples, there exists something even rarer: pennies with mysterious origins, unusual compositions, or unique histories. These are the coins that ignite bidding wars, that leave collectors in awe, and that sometimes reach values so high they seem almost unbelievable. And this brings us to the crown jewel of our story, the extraordinary 2007 Lincoln cent that stunned the collecting community by selling for an astonishing $21 million. Pause for a moment and let that number sink in. $21 million. For a penny. A coin most people overlook, dismiss, or even throw away without a second thought. What could possibly justify such a staggering value? The answer lies in the perfect combination of rarity, mystery, historical significance, and collector demand. One particular 2007 penny was discovered to have been struck on a unique planchet, a blank metal disc different from the standard zinc and copper composition. Instead, this penny was created using a rare experimental alloy, believed to have been tested by the mint but never intended for circulation. How it escaped into the public's hands remains a mystery, but its authenticity was confirmed by top grading services and numismatic experts. In pristine condition, gleaming as though untouched by time, this coin stood apart as a true one-of-a-kind piece. Collectors knew immediately that this was not just another penny, it was history, art, and rarity combined in a way the world had. Top 2. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins of modern America, the United States of America 1 cent from the year 1992. At first glance, it looks just like an ordinary penny, the kind we see rolling around at the bottom of a drawer, in our pockets, or left behind in a change tray. But what if I told you that this tiny copper-colored coin hides a story so rare and so extraordinary that it has become a prized treasure among collectors, with a jaw-dropping value that reaches into the tens of millions? That's right. Today we're talking about a 1992 penny worth as much as $26 million. Now, let's go back in time and put ourselves in the world of the early 1990s. America was buzzing with cultural change. The Cold War had just ended, technology was rapidly advancing, and everyday life was filled with the optimism of a new era. Amidst all of this, the United States Mint was quietly producing billions of pennies to keep commerce moving. For most people, the penny was almost invisible, something you gave or received without much thought. Yet, in 1992, something happened during the minting process that would go on to create one of the rarest and most talked about coins in American history. The penny, of course, is one of the oldest coins in continuous circulation in the United States. First introduced back in 1793, it has undergone many design changes over the centuries. But since 1909, Abraham Lincoln has been the face of the 1 cent piece. His image was chosen to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth, and since then, Lincoln's stern yet noble profile has remained a constant presence on the front of the penny. The reverse side, at least for much of the 20th century, showcased the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1992, the penny was well into its Lincoln Memorial era, and the mint was producing billions each year. The Philadelphia and Denver mints were churning them out in massive numbers, with little expectation that any particular coin would be special. Yet, in the process of designing and striking these coins, a subtle mistake occurred, one that would change the fate of certain 1992 pennies forever. Here's where things get really fascinating. The 1992 penny has a rare variety known as the "AM" variety. Normally, on the reverse side of Lincoln Memorial's cents, the letters A and M in the word America are spaced noticeably apart. But in some 1992 pennies, due to the use of a prototype or transitional die meant for the following year, the letters A and M are so close together that they almost touch. This seemingly small detail, invisible to the casual eye, is the marker of a rare treasure. Only a handful of these 1992 AM pennies exist, and they are highly coveted by collectors. But that's not the only thing that makes the 1992 penny special. To understand its importance, we have to think about what coin collectors, numismatists, look for. Rarity, condition, and historical significance are the three pillars that determine value. The 1992 AM penny checks all three boxes. It's rare because only a limited number were struck by accident. It's significant because it marks a transitional design era during a fascinating period in U.S. mint history. And in pristine condition, its value skyrockets because collectors know just how difficult it is to find one that has survived 3 decades without wear. Imagine being a collector or even just an ordinary person checking their pocket change, and suddenly you notice something unusual about your penny. You pull out a magnifying glass, look closely at the word America, and there it is, the A and M nearly touching. Your heart races as you realize you might be holding one of the rarest modern pennies in existence. Stories like this have surfaced time and time again, with lucky finders turning a single cent into life-changing amounts of money. Let's dive a little deeper into the design. The obverse, or front side, features Abraham Lincoln's portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, a classic image that has remained beloved for over a century. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word, "Liberty," and to the right the year, 1992, marks its minting. Below the date, a tiny mint mark, either D for Denver or no mark for Philadelphia, tells you where it was made. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, complete with its columns and even the faint outline of the seated statue of Lincoln inside, an incredible detail considering how small the coin is. But the real star of the reverse is that tiny spacing between the A and the M. It's incredible to think that such a minuscule difference, something most people would never notice, can be worth millions. And that's the magic of numismatics. Coins are little time machines, carrying with them stories of design, error, and rarity that only reveal their secrets to those who look closely. Collectors around the world know about the 1992 AM penny, and competition to own one is fierce. Auction houses have reported staggering bids for high-grade examples, with prices climbing into the hundreds of thousands, and estimates for certain unique or near-perfect coins reaching into the millions. And for a coin like this, with such rarity and fame, it's not hard to imagine its value continuing to grow over time. Now, let's talk about how a penny could possibly be valued at $26 million. At first, that sounds unbelievable. How could a coin worth 1 cent be worth more than luxury mansions, yachts, or entire collections of rare art? The answer lies in the perfect storm of rarity, condition, demand, and narrative. A 1992 AM penny in flawless condition is not just a coin, it's a piece of history, a story, and a trophy. For the world's wealthiest collectors, owning it is a matter of pride and prestige. And when such collectors compete, prices soar to unimaginable heights. Think of it like this: rare coins are much like famous paintings. A canvas and some paint aren't inherently worth millions, but when combined with artistry, rarity, and cultural significance, they become priceless. The same is true for coins. The 1992 AM penny isn't just metal, it's a story of an accidental rarity, tied to America's history, loved by collectors, and forever limited in number. And in today's market, that story is powerful enough to give it an estimated value of $26 million. What makes the story even more exciting is the possibility that someone, somewhere, might still have one of these coins sitting unnoticed in a jar of change. Imagine the thrill of checking your pennies and discovering a fortune hiding in plain sight. That's part of why videos and discussions about rare coins captivate so many people, because the idea that wealth could be hidden in everyday objects sparks our imagination. And here's a fascinating thought. The penny has long been criticized for its low value and top 3. Today, we are diving deep into one of those stories, the story of the United States of America 1-cent coin from the year 2002. At first glance, it might look like any other penny that jingles in your pocket or rests forgotten in a drawer. But this coin has a hidden journey that makes it one of the most fascinating and valuable collectibles in modern numismatics. To begin this journey, let's step back for a moment and consider the humble penny itself. The American 1-cent coin has been a cornerstone of U.S. currency since 1793, making it one of the oldest continuously circulating denominations in the country. Over the centuries, the penny has seen transformations in design, metal composition, and minting techniques. By the year 2002, the penny carried with it a legacy of American identity, patriotism, and history, all etched into its small copper-plated surface. It's easy to overlook such a tiny coin, but for collectors and historians, the 2002 penny holds extraordinary significance. On its obverse, or front side, the coin proudly displays the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor Lincoln's centennial birthday, has become one of the most iconic images in American numismatics. By 2002, Lincoln's portrait had been in use for nearly a century, making it not just a symbol of one president, but of the endurance of American ideals. The details of Brenner's work are striking. Lincoln's gaze is steady, his features strong, and the word, liberty, rests alongside him, reminding every American of the nation's foundational principle. Just above, the motto, "In God We Trust," further anchors the coin in the values that the United States has carried forward through generations. Below, the date 2002 marks its place in time, a reminder that this coin was minted in the dawn of the 21st century, a period filled with change, challenge, and resilience. Flip the coin over, and you are met with the timeless image of the Lincoln Memorial, an emblem of unity and democracy. This reverse design, first introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday, carries its own symbolic weight. Look closely at the tiny columns, and you'll see that the engraver ensured even the statue of Lincoln within the memorial is visible, a detail that still fascinates collectors today. Surrounding the memorial are the words, "United States of America," and "E pluribus unum," Latin for "out of many one," emphasizing the country's unity despite its diversity. At the bottom, the denomination, 1 cent, is spelled out boldly, a reminder of its everyday face value, though for the particular 2002 coin we are exploring, that face value is just a whisper of its true worth. Now let's turn to the minting details. The 2002 1-cent coins were struck at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark, Denver coins bore a small D, and San Francisco struck proof coins with the S mark. While billions of pennies were minted across these facilities, it is often the rare variations, errors, and high-quality proofs that capture the attention of serious collectors. For example, some 2002 pennies show double die errors, where elements of the design appear doubled due to misalignment in the minting process. Others might display off-center strikes or unique coloration due to chemical reactions with their copper plating. These small variations can transform an ordinary penny into a treasure worth thousands, or even millions. But beyond minting anomalies, the 2002 penny's real magic lies in its place within a larger cultural and historical context. The early 2000s were a time of recovery and resilience for the United States. Just a year after the events of September 11, 2001, the nation was healing, rebuilding, and reaffirming its identity. The coins minted during this period became silent witnesses to those times, carrying with them the weight of history. For many collectors, owning a pristine 2002 penny is not just about possessing a rare object, but about holding a piece of America's story at the dawn of a new century. The collector appeal of the 2002 penny grows when we consider its design, longevity, and cultural recognition. Lincoln's portrait, the Lincoln Memorial, the patriotic mottos, these elements combine to create not just a coin, but a miniature work of art that speaks to American pride. And as coins continue to evolve, with newer designs and changing compositions, the 2002 penny becomes a snapshot of a moment that will never return. It embodies the era when the Lincoln Memorial design was still in use, before being replaced in 2009 with the Bicentennial series celebrating Lincoln's life and legacy. Collectors prize coins that are not only rare but also in exceptional condition. For pennies, this means finding examples in mint state, free of scratches, wear, or blemishes, often preserved in protective cases. A 2002 penny graded MS-70, the highest possible grade, can already command astonishing value in the collector's market. Add in the allure of a rare minting error or a particularly scarce proof strike, and the value can skyrocket. This is where the 2002 penny makes its leap from ordinary change to extraordinary treasure. Imagine for a moment the journey of one such coin. Perhaps it was struck at the Denver Mint, its design crisp and flawless, untouched by circulation. Instead of being spent or passed from hand to hand, it was set aside by a sharp-eyed collector who recognized its potential. Over the years, as billions of other pennies grew worn, scratched, and forgotten, this one coin remained pristine, protected from time. When it finally re-emerged into the spotlight of numismatic auctions, collectors around the world clamored for it, each recognizing the extraordinary rarity of a perfect specimen from this year. What was once a single cent now commanded a value that could change lives. The fascination doesn't end there. The 2002 penny is part of a broader story of how small coins, seemingly insignificant, can become priceless treasures. Throughout history, there are countless examples of coins whose value multiplied astronomically due to their rarity, condition, or historical significance. The 2002 penny stands proudly among them, a testament to how even in modern times, a coin can achieve legendary status. For collectors, it represents not just money, but history, artistry, and the thrill of discovery. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for, the big reveal of this coin's astonishing value. While at its face, the 2002 penny is worth only 1 cent, in the world of numismatics, a flawless example with the right characteristics has been appraised and valued at an incredible $23 million. Yes, you heard that right, $23 million for a single penny. It's almost unimaginable, yet it is the reality of the numismatic world, where rarity and perfection create treasures that rival the greatest works of art. This is not just a coin, it is a story, a piece of history, a masterpiece in miniature, and one of the most valuable pennies in existence. So, the next time you find a penny in your pocket or spot one lying on the ground, think twice before dismissing it. That small coin might hold secrets, it might carry a story, and who knows, it could even be worth a fortune. The 2002 United States of America 1 cent coin proves that sometimes, the most ordinary objects hide the most extraordinary surprises. And that is the magic of numismatics, transforming the everyday into the priceless, the common into the legendary, and the forgotten into something worth millions.